What is up, everyone? Welcome to the Underdog Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Nolan alongside Antonio Fiore, Salestrina. Gentlemen, how are we?
Good afternoon.
Happy Friday.
Is it afternoon?
Yeah.
Evening.
I'd say it's evening.
No,
though.
it's evening.
Good afternoon.
So a lot has happened since we last spoke. I don't know. We don't really have to dive into the Damar Hamlin thing at all. I think it's been covered enough. I think it was just like super tragic thing that happened. Obviously, no one wants to see that.
Scary thing to watch on TV, especially when it's a heart thing.
Me and Nolan were watching it together.
Yeah, it was very scary situation.
We were holding our breath the whole time.
At Allen's, I'm like, dude, that's heart. That's bad.
I think a lot of shows have covered what has happened. We obviously just want to say we're happy that he's doing better. It's later in the week, so we got an update that he's breathing on his own.
There's been good news.
Yeah, there's been good
obviously,
news.
like, still, there's work to be done with him, but it doesn't look like he's going to be paralyzed or anything like that. Like, he's got all of his neurological functions, as far as I know. So
we just want to say
trying to
that
get in the right direction.
We just want to say that obviously we were hoping for the best, and it seems like he's made it through possibly the worst of it. So we're just happy that everything's looking up.
So what happens now is now that the game's canceled, it didn't count for either team. Now this creates a whole different scenario for the playoffs. I don't know if we should probably dive into that.
I'm sure there's a lot of fantasy football team owners that I feel some type of way about this as well.
I mean, in our league, I ended up paying out for first and second. Just there were people rolling that night, and the person that was in first, I paid out for first, and the person in second, I paid out for second. I didn't really know how else to. Yeah. And they both had players going. It's like, what do you want me to do? That's the way I saw it.
Yeah, I think it's an unprecedented situation for sure. And I think now that they canceled the game, like obviously you have to pay out whoever was winning.
You can't sit there and play Josh Allen would have gotten 40 or Joe Burrow would have gotten 40. It's like that's all speculation.
Or if you have two people that just agree to split the money maybe or something.
Yeah, at that point.
If it was close. Because, I mean, obviously Bills and Bengals, like so many people have fantasy lineups with Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, Jamar Chase.
McPherson's a popular kicker in fantasy.
Yep. Exactly. Like,
and at this point, I mean, obviously we all know this, but like that took a back seat this week. We were all just worried about making sure that he was okay. So it's one of those things where once the dust settles, then obviously you're worried about, oh yeah, I'm in the fantasy championship. I wonder what happens here. But
yeah.
It was very awkward for a lot of people, including myself. It's like, well,
no one wants to address the money issue.
Yeah, I didn't really want to address
to start any fights.
Yeah, and I didn't think in our league is very friendly. We don't really. It's not. We take it seriously, but it's not like I need the payout. I need the money. Like no one's really stressing about that. It's more or less just like
a lot of people are happy to place first and second anyway, and
right at that point,
up winning a few $100 either way. So
yeah.
So the number one seed in the AFC is gonna be a jungle fuck, to put it lightly, because now what happens?
Two words next to each other before. I like that.
Now what happens is so many different jumbled things can happen, and I think a lot of the roads lead to the AFC Championship being played at a neutral site.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I don't think it. I mean, it does matter. I think it matters a lot, actually.
I would have really liked to see Buffalo, Kansas City in Buffalo. I would have just liked to see,
but that can still happen.
Anything in Buffalo.
Well,
it can still happen, but
yeah,
I mean, with the probability of what's going to happen this week.
If Buffalo, I spent like 20 minutes researching.
Oh,
this.
Beautiful. Okay, cool.
I have it up too. If the Bills win and the Chiefs lose, the Bills will get the number one seed, and they will play the AFC Championship game in Buffalo.
Okay.
So, like, this is the only way I think a neutral site AFC Championship would, like, completely be out of the mix, is if the Bills win, Chiefs lose. Which, I mean,
the Chiefs aren't losing to the Raiders.
They're not, but I want to avoid all that shit, so I fucking hope they lose.
Oh, Nolan the Raiders this week? That's a sneak peek. Anyway.
No, I'm just saying it could happen. I mean, I think it's gonna be the wildest week I think we've seen in the NFL for a long time. Yeah, I think that's the only scenario where one of the teams plays a home AFC Championship game. What else? What else should we?
Well, are there others? So, like, if they both win,
you want me to list them off?
Yeah,
right
I'd love to hear them all, honestly, because I don't know.
This is for the Chiefs. The Chiefs can clinch the number 1 or number 2 seed. If they win at the Raiders or the Bills lose to the Patriots, they clinch number 1. If the Chiefs and Bills both win and they end up meeting in the AFC Championship game, they would play at a neutral site.
But the Chiefs are still the first seed.
The Chiefs will still be the first seed.
Gotcha.
If the Chiefs, Bills, Bengals all lose, then a Bills AFC Championship would be played at a neutral site. Okay, so if Chiefs lose and Bills win, Buffalo would be the number 1 seed, Kansas City would be the 2, and
it
the
would be in Buffalo.
the possibility of a neutral site game would not exist. If Chiefs and Bills lose and Bengals win, a Bills Chiefs or Bengals Chiefs AFC Championship game would be at a neutral site.
Now, this kind of ends up on the back door, maybe benefiting Cincinnati in the end, because they had a very low chance of being the 1 seed compared to Kansas City.
Yeah.
So
No video.
A neutral. Is it not working?
Eric, are you faded?
but which means it'll probably end up being in a dome if it's at a neutral site. I don't want to see.
Well, that's okay. That was
teams in the playoffs playing outside, especially
Antonio,
if it's Buffalo and Kansas.
That
City.
was my next thing because
it's
if
going to
they,
be in like Houston or something.
well, if they play indoors, that game is going to have 872,000 points in it. If they're both playing inside,
I know.
Yeah.
there's going to be no defense. It's
like cool. That's fun, but I mean, I don't know. It's something different about the playoffs when you get the weather.
you're so old. You just want every game to be 19 to 16.
That's not even. That's not true. You could see snow games go fucking 20 to 17 or something like that. 24-20. That's so lame. That's that's
you don't want the
such
two
a fucking.
You don't want the
lame
two best
point.
offenses in the NFL going back and forth, trading blows with each other.
I want
That's
them to
not
figure
something
it
that
out.
you would enjoy.
They could still do that, but the cold
Sure, they
makes it
could.
different.
But if they're in the dome, it's going to be so much more entertaining. It's going to be 60-yard passes every other play. You hate offense.
I don't hate offense.
You hate offense. You really do.
If it's two teams and scoring, I'm not mad if two teams score in the 20s, which can happen when it's cold out and there's some snow falling on the ground. I'm just saying it adds another factor to it.
Sure, it's another
not like
layer.
these-
It adds the ambiance, whatever you want to say.
That's the cool thing about playoff football. And if you don't think that
So,
is,
all right,
that's
so-
fucking lame.
So if Buffalo had a dome, you'd still be saying this.
No. And Buffalo, dude, when
It's the same thing. It's like if Buffalo had a dome. It's literally like if Buffalo had a dome.
say that again.
If Buffalo had a dome, would you still be saying, "Oh, I wish it was outside. I wish it was snowing"? I
Probably
wish-"
because I'd be saying, dude, it's
Oh.
Buffalo. It's like having a dome in Green Bay. It's
Well, I
part
think
of their.
now,
It's
I
part
think
of their
now
identity.
it's lame though because I think like any time that the weather they think will be like a deciding factor, they can just move the game now.
I guess so.
One of
But
the
I
things
mean,
like COVID did.
Yeah.
They're like we
It's a
can just
factor.
switch games whenever we want, pretty much.
it tends to be a factor in Kansas City pretty much every year, which adds to the fun of it. And we've seen some really,
cold,
really
though.
good. Right, we've seen really, really good games in Kansas City.
No, I'm
In
not.
the
I'm
AFC
not. I'm
Championship.
not disagreeing with
the
you.
one
And-
the one thing that I think that this opens up for the Bills at least is they get to avoid going into Arrowhead pretty
Yeah.
much. In any scenario, they get
Yeah.
they pretty much
Which
avoid.
is great for them.
Well, if they
But they were
if
probably
they-
going to have the 1 seed anyway.
If they lose and the Chiefs win, do they go to Arrowhead?
neutral.
It's still a neutral site, so they're
The
guaranteed.
only home AFC Championship game would be the Bills
Oh,
because the Bills had a chance to get the number 1 seed. They didn't play as many games.
okay.
So
All right.
that's what the explanation of that.
Okay.
So
Also, I was terrified when Buffalo announced they were getting a new stadium. I was terrified it was going to be a dome because they were talking about that before, and it's not.
With their team, why would you not make it a dome?
With their team right now, that's a different team in 10 years, isn't it?
I'm not saying it's not.
Why build a stadium just for this identity? Of
When
the
is
Bills
when
team?
is that stadium being built? Is it the next couple years?
I don't know.
I think it's probably the next it's
yeah.
got to be at least 5 years.
It's
away.
going to take
Okay.
time,
At
but I mean, they're
least.
probably going to start construction soon.
Yeah, it's got to be at least 5 years away. But I'm saying like, do you think some of these teams look at it as an advantage for their team though?
Yeah.
The neutral site.
Like how we were looking at when Miami went to Buffalo, we were looking at it that way. We
Yeah.
were like, Miami doesn't play in the cold,
Yeah.
like, but they
It's
almost
a part
won.
of that's a part.
Well,
of,
that's like that. Okay, that was like a part of New England. Like obviously when
Yeah,
you go to
home
New
field
England,
advantage, and then
I
you
get
get
it.
that
It's
perk.
it's a snow game, and cold or warm weather teams don't like going to cold weather stadiums outside, especially in the winter. Like Peyton Manning was the number one in that, where if like the temperature was below 30, he had like a
He was the worst.
abysmal record. So
He
like
was the worst.
I get it. I get your point of view. I'm just saying. I like offense. I like points. I like teams moving the ball. I know that's like whatever, but
which we haven't
Which I'm
really
cool with, but I don't
seen
want
that much
every
this year, though.
right. I don't want every game to be 40-38.
I'm saying in the AFC Championship game when you have Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes trading blows like a knockout fight, that's what I want to say.
My whole thing on that, and I kind of agree with you, but my whole thing is like when it's a big ass game like that, I want the level to be even as much as possible. So like if it's in a dome,
then it should be neutral site all the time.
No, I'm saying in an AFC Championship game when
so
it
it should
matters.
be neutral site all the time if you want it to be as even as possible.
Well, then make every stadium a dome then.
No, he's saying for no home field advantage if you want it as even as possible.
It's not for home field advantage. You would still have home field advantage. I'm saying that if it's in a dome, both teams, there is no reason why they shouldn't be able to move the ball. There's no reason why they shouldn't be able to play defense. If you have a game up in Buffalo, like look at what happened. Look at when the Patriots beat the Bills last year in the windiest game and the coldest game ever. Like that's not a fun game to watch.
Do you know how much of an idiot I am? I bet the over in that game because everyone was just slamming
You are
the
a
under.
dumbass.
Everyone was slamming the under. I was like, the over has to hit in this game.
Like, that wasn't a fun game to watch, was it? Was it?
No,
a
that
fun
was an
game to
awful
watch?
game.
It was fascinating for a little bit, but then
So
you turn it off.
imagine that happens on an AFC Championship game.
It's a famous game.
The Win
it's
Bowl.
not. No, it's not.
Literally, it's a famous game.
No,
Unless it's a
I'd rather
blowout.
have both teams have a fair shot. And
You know what would be a
see who
famous
the best
game?
team is.
You know what would be a famous game? 45-42.
Oh, I know.
Bills,
Of
Chiefs.
course it would be. Well, what was the score last year? It was like 42-38 or something.
Because they scored 4 touchdowns in the last 2 minutes of the game. Like
amazing.
Yeah, I don't know. I think for playoffs and AFC Championship and NFC Championship respectively, why shouldn't they be a neutral site?
Does Eric have an opinion?
No, he said the win. He liked the Win Bowl.
The Win Bowl. Like, why shouldn't they be a neutral site?
Because you work all. So what's the point of the regular season? Why don't the Chiefs just try to sneak in every year and rest their players for multiple
For the
games?
bye?
Okay.
I think the bye is very important.
The bye is important, but at the same time, it's like if you lose one of the first couple games of the season, it's like, all right, I'm just gonna make sure my players are healthy for the postseason. I'm gonna rest the last couple of weeks. Like we're gonna play it a little.
It happens in
conservatively.
college.
Like
There's no home field advantage in college.
yeah, I get it. I definitely get it. I mean,
besides when Georgia makes it to the fucking.
and then they play in Mercedes-Benz.
Yeah,
that's kind of
no,
faded.
that's ridiculous.
It's always Georgia playing in that game, and it's pretty much a home game for them.
TCU is beating Georgia in the college football final.
Honestly, this year I have paid the
I think
least
it's gonna
amount of
be a
attention to
wild
college
game.
football this year, probably in the last 6 years.
I don't know what it is about New Year's Eve, and I said this to you. They love having the best New Year's Eve games like sometimes it's like New Year's Day or the day after New Year's or like the 30th for the semifinals. Whenever it's New Year's Eve, bro, they have the best games because the last time that happened was the Ohio State Alabama year with Zeke.
Right, but before the really?
Yeah.
I thought the last time it was New Year's Eve was when Clemson lost to Ohio State in the semis. Because that was wild.
Was that New Year's Eve too?
I think so.
That was a really good game.
That was a nuts game.
Like, I feel like anytime they have it on New Year's Eve, they just do it right, and it's always like the best matchups. And both games were outstanding. Normally in the semifinal, you get one team that smokes one team, and then maybe a close game.
No, yeah.
You got
the committee did a good job this year.
Oh yeah, you got a really good TCU Michigan game, and then you're like, okay, this Ohio State Georgia game is probably a blowout. Like Georgia probably blows them out. Ohio State was probably the better team for 58 minutes of that game.
I'd argue that they were the better team the whole game. Ohio State definitely deserved to win that game.
Yeah.
For sure.
Honestly, and like I said, the least amount of college football I've watched in years, but it seemed like from the outside kind of this year, it's like maybe not top 10, but like within the top 8 teams, it seems like it was the tightest and most even it's ever been.
Well, normally it's everyone goes to Alabama or Georgia, and now the
those two teams that are just gonna fuck everybody.
Now that it's
doesn't
like
seem like that
legal to give them NIL deals, it's like the kids don't care where they go. It's like there's money everywhere. It's like they're just gonna go wherever they want to go. And like,
Alabama didn't make it last year, right? They didn't make the playoff.
No, they did. They lost to Georgia. They lost to Georgia in the final.
They did.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think too, did Michigan get fucked on that game with that touchdown that they didn't call a touchdown?
Yes.
I kept seeing that. I didn't watch that game. I watched the later game, obviously, but that game, all I saw was that on Twitter was that.
So I definitely think that they got screwed on that, but at the same time, you're at the 1 yard line, first and goal. Like, just punch it in. Don't fumble on the exchange. Like, it's really not that hard. You hand it to your running back, and you get a yard. Like, they've been doing that all season, and their offensive line is way better than TCU's defensive line is. So
I get that, but it was a touchdown.
No, I'm not saying it wasn't.
It definitely was a touchdown. I saw it at like every angle. I was like,
was a touchdown.
it definitely was a touchdown.
Was a touchdown.
And I don't even know really the college rules, but I was like, that's
No,
a touchdown.
but there's nothing.
Like I think I was like,
there's nothing that made that not a touchdown. It was 100% a touchdown, but they were just like, no, you're not getting this one.
Yeah.
Sorry.
damn, that sucks for Michigan, dude. I thought they've been the best team all year for sure.
I mean, they kicked Ohio State's butt in that game in the Big Ten or Big. What are they playing?
That was another
Big
really
Ten.
good
Oh yeah,
Yeah, and that
Big Ten championship.
Yeah, they kicked their butt in that.
Fuck Ohio State. I love to see that shit.
Dude, that kick was not even close against Georgia. Like
That's
off,
ridiculous.
off his foot.
Poor kid, man.
Oh, it's like we were together for that game too. He steps up to take the kick.
It literally ended right at midnight.
Yeah, I looked at Nolan and he was about to take the kick. I was like, he does not want it right now. Like you could just tell by the way he just like looked like he didn't want it. And it was like
college kickers are so bad.
and it was like what, a 47-yarder? Like a college kicker is like barely ever making a 47-yarder.
When I was like, Sal, college kickers are so bad.
yeah,
He's not making this.
yeah, he was never making that.
No.
Back to NFL.
Yes, back to NFL.
I mean, we know our scenarios. I mean, it's just a matter of getting into the playoffs and seeing how the chips lay and who. I'm more excited for what the matchups are.
That's what I mean. We're obviously going to get to like all the scenarios once we start talking about those specific teams when we get to those games. And last week was horrible.
Yeah.
Pretty much everything about the last weekend of football was pretty shit.
Yeah.
If we have anything to say about any of the teams, we can kind of just say it when we get to this week's picks.
Yeah, the matchups are gonna be like like last week. Yeah, I'm with that. Only other thing I will say though is NFC is a three-way battle, right? It's just Detroit, Seattle, and
it is Detroit, Seattle, and Green Bay.
Green Bay, yeah.
It's crazy. You know, they were 4-8, and out of all these teams, Green Bay is the one that controls their own destiny. Seattle and Detroit would have to depend on something else, and Detroit can beat Green Bay on Sunday and still not get in the playoffs.
Yeah.
If Seattle wins.
Can we take a guess? Because I don't know the answer to this question. Can we take a guess at what the Packers Super Bowl odds were when they were 4-8?
Oh, plus 7,500.
100 to 1.
Probably
100 to 1.
It has to be. It has to be. They look like the worst team. We were saying
They
that
were
they were the
so
worst
bad.
team ever. We were saying that they were down there with the Bears and how bad they were.
Did they beat Miami last week or no? Oh no, they killed Minnesota last week.
Minnesota.
Oh my god, they killed Minnesota last week.
Absolutely.
Minnesota.
You know what I thought was
They
bad?
might
Green
have
Bay
to
was the
play.
easiest pick I've ever
You
made
know
in my life.
that was a great pick, Nolan. That was a great pick. You know what? Like
They
I was
play
kind
each other in
of.
the first round too.
They probably will. You know what I was kind of worried
The
about?
Vikings kill him if that happens.
Jair, when he did the gritty right after his first like pass breakup on Justin Jefferson, I was like, Justin Jefferson is scoring like 4 touchdowns now, and then he doesn't.
I don't know if they meet in the playoffs. He's scoring like 7 touchdowns. He is going off. If they meet in the playoffs, oh my god.
Yeah, it's over for.
That's the only reason why I say that if Minnesota,
As long as Kirk ends up with the ball in Justin's hands and not
on the ground.
yeah,
on the
Or
ground
on the
or
other
a-
team's hands.
or a yellow helmet.
they'll be good for one game, and then that game after, we're gonna get bad Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
It also depends the time. It could be like, if it's like a Sunday 1:00 playoff game, home on him.
yeah.
If it's like a Saturday,
Oh, they
8
wouldn't, dude. If it was Rodgers and the Vikings, they would not. Put
Even
that
a
at
4
1
o'clock game, I don't trust it.
4:00's borderline. Saturday at like 8:20, like home on the other team. Whoever the
Yeah.
other team is, home.
Home for sure.
Are we just down into this?
Yeah, let's do it.
Saturday early, 2 Saturday games. Kansas City -9 at the Las Vegas Raiders. Over under is 52.5 points. Kansas City can get to win number 14 this year.
Mm-hmm. And obviously they're going to be playing their starters because they want to get that 1 seed. I like the over in this game.
Mm-hmm.
I like Kansas City to cover that 9, but I think the Raiders defense is so bad. It's so atrocious. I think it's kind of like one of those situations where Kansas City probably puts up like 40 and the Raiders will put up like 27, 28 points because that offense Stidham looked really good last week. And the Chiefs defense is not great. I don't love it. So I still like the Chiefs to cover, but Vegas won't go down like easy.
Tell me why you like the Raiders.
I think the Raiders win this game.
I knew you were going to say something like that.
I hope. I want Buffalo to
Since
get
this
that.
DeMar Hamlin thing, all of it, all of the destiny, if you could wrap it up into a ball, has gone to
the
Buffalo.
Bills. Yeah.
And I think it might just work out where every scenario works
Does
out
Vegas
for
win and
Buffalo.
they're really excited about next season?
Vegas wins like a close one, and Kansas City just can't score points.
If Vegas wins this game, Stidham's their quarterback next season.
Yeah. I mean, but listen.
And I liked him last week. I think he looked really good. He was ready for the moment.
I thought Stidham was a bot, dude, and he looked really good last week.
I thought he was a bot, too. I did not think he was that good.
Well, I mean, I don't know if they'll look to go into next season with Stidham as their quarterback. They might shop around a little bit. I don't know. Oh, you think? When it comes to their running back, wide receiver, and tight end, as long as Waller stays,
that's what I'm saying.
That tandem is among the best in the league.
If
Josh Jacobs was the leading, he's going to be the leading rusher, right?
Not again. Oh, this year, yeah.
This year, yeah.
Oh, yeah, this year, yeah. I thought you were saying next year. I was like, I don't know.
No,
This year.
I wouldn't pick that.
Past years, he's been up there.
Yeah, no, he's been solid each year. My point is, like, if they win both these games, and then San Francisco the best defense in the league, and Kansas City arguably the best team in the league, they're going to go into next season giving him the starting job. Yeah. Now they might get like a Jimmy to back him up, or like a veteran, like a Tyrod Taylor.
Derek Carr's definitely.
Derek Carr's gone. Derek Carr is so far gone, it's not even funny because they owe him like $30 million right before the draft. The first thing that's going to happen in the offseason is the Raiders cutting Derek Carr. I can almost guarantee that. So he's going to be on a different team. So watch out for that.
They won't even try to trade him for anybody.
No, because no one will take him because they know that they have to release him. People aren't going to willingly give up something for him. Back to this game, I'm taking Kansas City, and I really like Kansas City in this game, and I don't think this is any sort of. I think the Raiders are going to look really bad. Like I think that it's going to be like one of those where like, oh, Stidham's pretty good, huh? Like he was moving the ball last week. Like
I think the defense is just going to start playing so horribly for the Raiders that Stidham might look decent coming out of the game, but it's just going to snowball.
I think it's going to be one of those where like the Chiefs are up like 21 or 24 nothing, and then the defense might like take it off the gas, and he might be able to move the ball after that. But no, the Chiefs are getting up big early, and it's going to be one of these games.
This is a 24-21 Raiders victory.
This is like 36-20 Kansas City. This is like 36-17 Kansas City. This is probably my second favorite game of the weekend.
This is a good one.
Tennessee at Jacksonville. Tennessee's a plus 6.5 point dog. Over under is 40 points. Jacksonville, winner of this game's in. Jacksonville has a small outside chance of getting in if they lose this game. Tennessee plus 6.5. Tennessee money line. Under in this game. Mike Vrabel lives for this spot.
Damn, you're going against your Jags.
I'm going against my Jags here. Mike Vrabel lives for this spot. He is one of the top 3 or 4 coaches in this league. Derrick Henry's back. They're going to feed him the ball 30 times. Most of their defense is back. I saw Bud Dupree's back, and they had Justin Simmons is back too. I think they're just going to make this game as ugly as possible. They love playing division opponents. I think,
and historically, they beat the shit out of Jacksonville. Not this year, but
they're
you go back since Jacksonville has become a team. Tennessee owns them.
There are way too many points being offered in this game. I love Tennessee plus 6.5.
I'm in agreement with that. I'm definitely going to give Jacksonville the edge. I want them to win this game. I still think they can win this game. But in this scenario, even though the Titans have looked like one of the worst teams in football over the last 5-6 weeks, in this spot, playing for the division, those guys are going to be playing their asses off on Saturday night. So
before you go,
it's going to be close. Also, inexperienced Jags team in a playoff-like scenario might be a little bumpy. I think they have the talent over Tennessee to pull it off, but I think the 6.5 is definitely smart.
If the Jags cover this game, it's going to be one of those where everything goes right for them. Like Jacksonville will like get a 4th and 1, or like they're just going to be really, and then like once that starts happening, you know it's Jacksonville's night. Like then they're just going to start putting, it's going to be like 35-7, and then you're going to be like, damn. But
isn't Tennessee kind of picking people off the street for their offensive line right now?
Yeah,
like it's dead, huh?
Yeah, I mean, their offense is going to be hand the ball to Derrick Henry until he dies, basically. Like it's just going to be one. He's going to get 40 carries.
Yeah,
he's going to get 40 carries Saturday.
And I think they're starting Dobbs again,
which is why they're going to give Henry. I would not want Josh Dobbs throwing the football.
He looks better than Willis.
I'm surprised that you guys like Tennessee. I have not been impressed with Tennessee. They looked really bad against Dallas last week in a game that Dallas was like begging them to win. That's
a team that plays down on their competition a lot.
Dallas, exactly.
We'll get to that.
And Dallas played way down last week, so I love the Jags in the spot. But another thing is, when was the last time we saw a night game in Jacksonville?
I know, that's cool, huh?
I feel like we never see that.
Are they gonna have a crowd? Like, are they gonna, like, obviously they're not people there, but like, is it gonna? how's the
Oh,
environment? gonna be?
crowd.
Yeah,
I thought you
like,
said crown. I was
oh
like,
no,
I
like,
thought you said that too.
That's yeah.
like how, like I feel like their home stadium doesn't really get like
I think they'll get
loud.
rocking. I think they'll get rocking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all right.
I think so. Saturday night in Jacksonville.
I don't know. I'm just saying, like,
Even when they were good, like a few years ago with that defense, they didn't even play a night game in the
their
playoffs.
last home primetime game was.
like a Thursday night game.
You think so?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I
he's
was
right.
gonna say because I don't. It
I bet
definitely
they
has
one of
happened
those
this
like
year.
the year after they were really good when they ended up being really bad.
All right.
Love Jacksonville.
Sunday early. Browns at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's not even a 3-point favorite. Pittsburgh's a 2.5-point favorite at home. I don't want to say it because I say it every week.
Listen, my guts tell me Browns, but I'm not taking the Browns.
Someone picked for me before I go.
Sal likes the Pittsburgh Steelers this week, and they will
How
be
can you
covering
not?
No.
How can you not though?
No. I can't take the
pick
Browns
against
again.
the Browns.
I can't take the Browns again, can I?
No, don't do it.
I've taken the Browns probably 16 out of 17 weeks. I don't-
Probably.
I know it helped. Hey, listen, I know it helped you get over Green Bay, but
This is the week to take the Browns.
no.
Oh.
I'm saying
But
another Browns.
No,
picks.
we've relapsed on Green Bay.
He's the junkie that's giving me the needle on Green Bay.
Listen. I almost have the needle in my arm. Like they
No,
have the
no,
best
but
chance.
but
They have
you've
the
been
best chance.
you've been saying that we're like the biggest junkies ever, and now you want
All
to
right.
join in on being
No.
a junkie.
I am not joining in. But all I'm saying is I look objectively. They have the best chance to get that last spot.
Oh yeah.
This weekend. When it comes to scenarios, they have the most clear cut.
Oh, but you're not saying they're gonna do anything.
No.
Okay,
They're gonna get fucking killed. in
Okay,
the
no,
first
that's
playoff
fine.
game.
Listen,
That's
when it
fine.
comes to the Green Bay, addiction thing, Sal's the friend that like everybody knows has a problem, and I'm the one that like goes and gets the stuff and is like,
Yeah.
dude, look, I got some of this.
No, because here's where you guys are faded, right? So it doesn't just stop at they're gonna make the playoffs. It's they're going.
No,
to
they're going to the
Super Bowl.
Super Bowl.
They're winning the Super Bowl. Aaron
They're
Rodgers
not.
is the
They're
best
not
ever.
even in the playoffs yet, and we're like, okay, Super Bowl.
Because of the way the NFC is. Like,
Like you said, I sprinkled
Listen.
a little bit on going to the Super Bowl. You threw $10 away.
I threw $10 on it. I
You
win
threw it into the
500
dark
for it.
abyss.
Why not?
Ugh.
But listen, it's been the year where like Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady, everybody thinks they're breaking down and this kind of thing. Watch them play each other in the playoffs because no one's been talking about them all year.
And Tom would fucking.
If they
come.
play each other in the playoffs, I think it has to be in the championship game. No,
I think you're right.
and
know.
it
Yeah.
and it would be in Tampa Bay again.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
that would be a rematch. Oh no, it was in Lambeau last time actually.
But that's not happening.
And
No,
listen, some crazy shit might happen in the NFC.
I'll unplug my Xbox if that happens.
Pittsburgh and Cleveland, though. How about
So
that?
Pittsburgh could still get in. They need a win, and they need the
need a lot of
Dolphins and
help.
Patriots to lose, which is very doable.
It's very possible.
That's very possible. The Dolphins have not looked good. and
They
the
all play-
Patriots- The
they all
Patriots
play
might
at
lose by
one-
Saturday.
I don't know about the Steelers, bro. Like I don't.
Kenny Pickett's looked pretty good.
You know who looked good last week towards the end of the game? Deshaun. And I don't like Deshaun either.
I did notice that.
But he started clicking at the end of that game, and I'm like, maybe he figured something out.
That's my one
Maybe.
reasoning for maybe wanting to pick Cleveland because I kind of think Deshaun will have like a good game before the end of the season happens. But
He had a good half against Washington.
I want to go with the Steelers because I want to see them. I want to see them get a winning record.
The other thing too is Washington's defense. Like they were really bad at the beginning of the season, and then they got really good, and now they're back to being really bad again. I don't know how that works.
I feel like Sal this week. Can I do a Sal thing here? Which is like, okay, so my whole thing was that Mike Tomlin can't have a losing season.
You did say that.
How tie is this game going to be?
Ooh.
Oh man.
Ooh,
The Steelers and the
How
Browns.
high is
Listen,
this game
these
gonna
teams
be?
love tying each other too. I think I've
He
seen it
wouldn't
twice.
have a losing record.
They wouldn't make the playoffs.
They wouldn't make the playoffs. I think this game ends in a tie.
Nolan, that might be your best call ever. This
If
game
that
goes to
actually
overtime.
happens, if that game actually happens,
This game
that-
goes to overtime.
Oh yeah, definitely goes to overtime. And if it ties, that would be insane.
I have to take the Browns now because I'm getting 2.5 points. Just as you said, it might tie. Because then I cover at 2.5.
Then I'll take Cleveland too in that spot. If I'm as confident.
You're taking Cleveland?
No, I'm taking.
You took Pittsburgh.
I took Pittsburgh.
By the way, can we sidebar for a second? I want to. I forgot I was going to start with this. I want a formal apology from the both of you. UConn men's basketball.
Oh yeah, they took some losses to some.
They've lost 2 games.
Yeah, should I call them bad when I've seen them win the championship at 21 and 11?
I never said they were bad.
I
Yes,
never
you did.
I never said they were the Fab Five and the best
I
team
said
that's
hold
ever
your
existed.
horses. I said hold your horses, and you guys were telling me they were the greatest team ever.
I don't think those words ever came out of either
Those
of
were
them.
really cool. I just said they were huge and they're tough to play against. But
And you said that they wouldn't lose in this
but you were claiming the Big East is trash, which it's clearly not, because now there's more.
those are two games that they should have won.
I understand that, but
They
one
really
of them
should
ended
have
up
won. They
being
played
ranked when they
really
weren't a
bad.
couple
I watched
weeks
them
ago.
play Providence. They played so fucking bad.
Villanova, they definitely should have won that game. That was not
Xavier.
Good. They played.
All right, Nolan,
It was Xavier.
I'll give you a formal apology.
Xavier was ranked.
I'll give you a formal apology if they don't.
So is Alabama when they beat Alabama by 15.
No, I know.
Alabama's still ranked right now.
I'm saying the Big East
That's what I'm
isn't
saying.
fucking shit.
I will give you a formal apology if they don't meet the Elite Eight. I will stand up in front of the camera and give you an apology.
Okay.
Until then, I'm not giving.
That's
any
fair.
I mean,
apologies.
listen. I hope that they win. I want them to
Listen,
win. I just
UConn
want people to put it on the brakes a little bit. That's all I want.
College basketball is an up and down season. They don't have two raucous environments. They lose two close games. Like, whatever.
They have to play those teams again.
Yeah.
They play Xavier
Good.
again, right? Do they have to play? I'm assuming if they're in conference.
Do they play? Do they?
They are playing both those teams again.
They play home and road. Do they do that in
They
college
do.
basketball?
If we're in their
Assuming they
conference,
would,
yeah.
if they play each other
Yeah,
twice.
so they're gonna kill them when they come back to Gamble or XL.
We'll see.
I'm
I'm going to the game next weekend.
I gotta make it out to it.
Wait, are you? Oh, I'm
Yes,
going.
St. John's.
I'm going in 2 weeks. Are you really? My mom got me
Yeah, the 15th.
for Christmas. She got me a UConn ticket. She was like, I had to
Really?
decide between St. John's and Butler, and I chose Butler. I was like, oh, that's probably
Oh,
a good
St.
pick.
John. That's
We
the
could have
one
went
I'm
together.
going to. Yeah, me and Robert are going.
Fun. Sunday early still. New England at Buffalo. I have 7 right now. I don't know if you guys have a different number.
I have 7 as well.
Buffalo is a 7-point favorite. Over/unders 43.5 points. This is a tough one to try to sit here and handicap. My analysis of the game, Buffalo's mindset is on anything but football right now. It's almost impossible for them to practice. Bill Belichick loves being the bad guy in every situation. I'm going to take the Patriots plus the 7 points.
Wow.
I don't know that the Patriots win this game. I think it comes down to the last drive, though. I think it's I think the Patriots could be winning it close to the end of the game, and then Josh Allen goes down and like scores a game-winning touchdown or something. But
Or like the Patriots have like a chance to win and fuck it up somehow, like they've done in
like they
4
always do.
games this year.
I'll take the Patriots plus 7 points. I think that's a decent number in this game. So
I'm gonna agree with that as well. Even
Jesus Christ! You get what?
With
you guys
3 out of
come
4.
in-
I mean,
you
yeah,
guys
we-
come in with your dicks tied
Yeah.
together. What happened? Holy shit!
well, listen, it sounds right about the scenario about like the practicing and everything like that. Their heads are probably more in it now because there has been good news about him. But I mean, they're still hurting for their brother, and I'm sure they're still terribly worried about him. In most instances, I would say Buffalo easily just because of how horrible New England's offense has looked this year and how good the Bills' defense is. But Belichick's team in a spot where he controls his own destiny to make the playoffs, I think he'll have everybody in the right mindset to at least cover this game. I'm not going to say they win, but I think they can cover.
Buffalo wins by 40.
you've been on that train too.
I have to keep going with it.
And
now
this
it's
is
even
this is
more-
the couch versus Nolan. That's the title of this podcast. It's the couch versus Nolan this week.
I
That happens.
I have
once
to
in a
stay.
while.
I have to stay with what I've been saying this whole time, and this whole time I've been saying they're going to get to that last game of the year. They're going to have to play to win, and they're going to lose by 40.
You
This-
said that a long time ago.
And
You
now
did? Oh, he's
I
been-
said that
yeah.
like week 2.
Yeah.
I said that like week 3 or something. And now we're here. Now Buffalo really has a thing to play for now. They're playing every game, dedicating every game to DeMar Hamlin. Like this is going to be like the craziest thing I've ever seen. Like especially because it's in Buffalo. If this was in New England, I could see what you guys
Oh, I'm
were saying.
switching. I don't know why. Like I'm looking at it right here, and I thought it was in
Dude,
New
Buffalo
England.
is
Fuck
going to
that.
be
I'm all over it. I'm
Dude,
all.
Buffalo is gonna be like the pearly gates on Sunday. Like there is just gonna be so much like love and support for the Buffalo Bills that I think it's impossible for the Patriots to.
Yeah,
Do you
it's gonna
know-
be-
do
it's
you
gonna
know
be so
who's-
loud? I'm sorry I said anything about New England before. For some reason, I thought they were at home. Buffalo.
Do you know who plays the villain better than anybody?
No, I understand
The
that.
New England Patriots.
I
Like,
get
I know.
that. But
do you know
it's-
what?
this
Do you know
just
what the
can't be
whole?
the
Do you?
scenario.
Oh no. Do you know what the whole world wants to see is Buffalo win this game Sunday? And I'm not saying the Patriots are gonna win, but like it would be so Bill Belichick for this year, for the game that they play their best game of the season, to be the one after this happens, and they go into Buffalo and they ended up winning.
It's
Like,
a very
I
tense
definitely
environment. in New
see your
England.
take. I don't think the Patriots do not deserve to be in the playoffs. They don't.
oh,
deserve
I
to win this
Nolan,
game.
I'm fully. I
That's what I'm
hate.
saying. Like it's just gonna be the fate is gonna be all with Buffalo.
I hate this team. I cannot stand this Patriots team. I can just see this coming down to the last possession, and I would not be shocked whatsoever if it's like a 3 or 4 point game, and then Josh Allen leads them down for a game-winning touchdown.
And I mean, listen, the Patriots could lose and still get into the playoffs. So I mean, it's not like the end of the world that they lose. The Dolphins would have to lose,
And the Steelers would have to lose.
and the Jaguars would have to win. All of those things can happen. That very easily could happen.
They very easily could happen, but like if one of them doesn't happen, they're out.
You know the Jags can still
I'm
get
saying,
in as a
like,
wild card.
It's not the end of the world if they lose.
So yeah, that's what. Yeah.
What?
No, I thought he was saying that about the Titans. He
No,
said
it's the
Jags
Jags. Yeah, the Jags lose. He said.
Because if the
I thought
if
you
the
said
Jags
win. My bad.
lose, then they could get a wild card spot.
Mhm.
That's what I'm saying. So like the Jags are winning is one of those scenarios.
Last game that matters for the AFC. Miami -3 at home. Skylar Thompson will be the quarterback. Over under is 37. They are playing the Jets. I don't know if I said that.
It's looking like the Jets are going to start Flacco.
Ew,
I think
really?
they announced that today.
And before I heard that today, I really liked the Jets in this game.
I still like the Jets.
I'm taking the Dolphins on.
This again, I have to be consistent with what I was saying. This is a full circle moment. They started out on that win streak. They started out hot in the beginning of the year with Joe Flacco. He was winning them games. Now we get to the end of the year. Who's the Jets' savior? It's gonna be Joe Flacco, and he's gonna win this game. Miami's gonna look really bad. I saw some shit on Twitter today that Miami was thinking of firing Mike McDaniel. I think that would be a terrible choice.
God.
I think like look at what he's had to deal with this
It's
whole
like
year.
them firing Brian Flores.
Yeah,
I mean,
so,
obviously
I
there was
mean-
maybe some drama there with that, but
Yeah,
guy had
so,
a
I
good
mean,
year and then
you
he
know,
got fired.
I mean, that might just be a rumor. I don't know how credible that would be, but I think Miami looks really bad in this game, and I think the Jets win.
It would be very Jets to end this season of teasing with a great performance.
Exactly, and it wouldn't matter.
I don't know.
That's the best part.
I really do hate this game because I don't really like either of the spread, and Miami winning and maybe getting in the playoffs with my Buffalo pick is really gross.
Yeah, either Buffalo or Miami has to lose. Which one do you think is more likely?
Miami.
Yeah, Miami, and I don't know, this Jets defense with Skylar Thompson, I don't love that together either. I don't know. This is a tough one to pick. I'm going to lean Miami just because Flacco's playing. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
This is
Final.
truly the couch versus Nolan this week. It's kind of crazy.
It's fine. I'm here for it.
Now games that just don't matter. Carolina at New Orleans. Carolina's a 3.5-point dog.
New Orleans kicks the fuck out of them.
Like,
Yeah,
but I
again,
mean,
this
who
is going to be a
cares?
scenario where New
cares?
Orleans is going to look really good, and it's not going to matter.
No, like
The Panthers aren't playing.
no, like literally, who cares, bro?
of all the shit that the Panthers have like gone through the season already, like the players don't fucking care. They're gonna get rolled.
Yeah, sure, New Orleans, that's fine.
Yeah. It sounds like
At least we can agree on the games that don't matter.
baby.
Oh, fine. Minnesota at Chicago. I don't think Justin Fields is starting, and I don't think Minnesota's playing very many of their players either. Minnesota's -6 at Chicago. Over under 42.5 points. The only thing that this may matter for is if Houston wins and Chicago loses, Houston is then the number 2 pick and Chicago's the number 1 pick because Houston beat Chicago earlier in the year, I believe. I could be wrong about that. though.
I think you're right.
That
It was
definitely
very,
sounds
very
correct.
early
I
in
think
the
it was like
season.
week 2 or something.
No, Chicago
Yeah.
beat Houston. I think there's a way that Chicago is the worst team in the league. I could be wrong, though. But regardless, +6. Ew, this game's gross.
I don't know. I think Minnesota's. If they're not playing Fields, Chicago, I think Minnesota, even with some of their starters sitting, is good enough to just kind of
Oh my God, it's Nathan.
ease it out and
it's
cover.
Nathan
It's Nathan
Peterman.
Oh, for the Vikings?
For Chicago.
Chicago.
That's an auto Minnesota. I'm sorry. Like
Yeah.
auto.
I forgot
this
about
is,
that.
This is just two college teams playing for no reason. That's all it is.
Yeah, I'll take Minnesota. That's fine.
Take the under for sure.
I like that. Who'd you take?
You took Minnesota.
You said Minnesota. Okay. Just making sure. Tampa Bay at Atlanta. Atlanta's -4. Tampa Bay is definitely not playing a soul in this damn.
I've heard that they are going to start their starters, but I don't think it's going to be for any
Really?
longer than the first half.
Ah.
Yes, that's what I heard today.
Over under.
But now Miami's favored.
Wait, what?
Not Miami. I mean, but now Atlanta's favored, so I don't know how much I trust that.
Well, they gotta be favored.
Yeah. So I mean, give me Atlanta. Fuck it. Atlanta's looking to end the year on a high note.
Okay, no, yeah, Atlanta's
That's true.
Atlanta's winning because Tampa's kind of bad this season, and they're gonna get in with a losing record.
Yeah, I mean, I think I can take Atlanta in this
And
game.
they're gonna sit there
maybe
and
have something.
laugh.
Maybe have something to look forward to next season.
Yeah, they want to end all these teams that don't have a shot getting. They want to end the season on a high note.
Well, listen,
So, like,
and I think Atlanta fans actually have had a more positive season than they really expected to, because they were in it for a good amount of the year this year, and they just kind of fell off at the
Absolutely.
end. But they're trending in a good direction. They have a good
I think
coach.
it all started with the Mariota thing.
Yeah, well, he knows how bad Desmond Ridder is, and then he got benched for Desmond Ridder, so I don't blame him.
But yeah, even then, so if Tampa does start their guys, they're not going to play more than a half, maybe even a quarter. So maybe Tampa does all right.
I don't
at
even
first,
see the
but
point in doing that.
I don't either. Maybe
What's
Tampa
the
does all
point?
right at first, and then Atlanta ends up winning.
I don't know.
What are you working on? What do you like? What are you practicing? Like you've done that all year. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Baltimore at Cincinnati.
Oh, I also will say Mike Evans, 1,000-yard receiver for his 9th straight season. The only guy that's done that more is Jerry Rice with 11. So that's
Mike Evans, Hall of Famer for sure.
and no one's really talked about him.
Yeah, no one really would be like Mike Evans is a no doubt Hall of Famer, but he's a no doubt.
I was
going
gonna say, how can you say he's
Yeah,
not?
you look
He's
at his resume
He's a
and, like-
Super Bowl champion.
Yeah.
and he's always top in receiving
What I like
yards.
is that he stuck around with one team. That's what I like. Even when
and
shit
he
got
excelled
bad,
pretty
like,
much with anybody that was
even
there.
when shit got bad, he stayed there. He stayed there. You know, he was there for the whole James.
Yeah, it is.
Winston
It is
thing.
cool that he was a one team player too.
Yeah.
I like him. And the other thing too is like when he played college with Manziel, like he was really good. Like at Texas A&M, he was a phenomenal prospect.
And he could have did the diva wide receiver thing and quit out when the team was
He
shit.
was never like that.
No, he
either.
was never like that. He has this little like hissy fits on the field and shit like that.
But that's where he
I mean,
gets his anger out. He's like, I hate Marshall.
But that's where it ends. He never takes. yeah, he hates Lattimore. But the other thing is too, he never like lets it get off the field, which I think is important.
I think.
Yeah.
I think every time they played the Saints, he's gotten in a fight with. Lattimore.
he hates Lattimore. It's insane.
Like every year I watch Red Zone and it's him and Lattimore getting in a fight on the field. It's
But I
like,
feel like receivers always have like an arch enemy. Like
Odell and
Josh
Norman.
Norman.
Yeah, like stuff like
Norman
that.
played last week too. I didn't even see that.
He's so elderly, dude.
Oh, you know
Yeah.
what was great? And who
he
would
was
have
making
thought?
cupcakes or whatever. Doesn't he have a bakery? He started a bakery.
Josh Norman.
Yeah, he
What?
owns
Awesome.
a bakery in Carolina.
I don't know.
think.
He's pretty cool.
Oh, I like Josh Norman. Yeah.
And they were
And he's
like,
good when
he
he's on
was-
TV too.
Like, did they walk in and he was like making like muffins, and they're like, "Come on, Josh, come back," and he's like, "Okay."
One of my favorite videos is after Tennessee beat Washington. Taylor Lewan had like the arrow and he pointed at Josh Norman, and Josh Norman gets in his face and he starts like mother effing him, and he's like he's like pointing in his face. That video is so funny every time I watch it. Girl NFL. All right, Baltimore at Cincinnati. Baltimore's a 9.5 point dog. Over under is 39.5. I think it's too many points. I'm going with a lot of dogs this week. I hate Baltimore. We all hate Baltimore. It's just. I think this game's gonna be a lot closer.
Baltimore.
This game's gonna be a lot closer than people think. I think Baltimore has an outside chance to win this game too.
I don't
So-
hate that.
Here's the interesting thing with this game is, and I don't know if you guys saw this. So if the Bengals lose and they're matched up in the AFC wild card, it's a coin toss to see who the home game is.
No way. Oh my God, then Baltimore's definitely winning.
So this is what, if the Bengals lose and they are matched up with the Ravens in the AFC wild card, a coin toss would determine home field advantage.
Oh my God, that's the most rigged coin toss I've ever.
Then the Ravens are getting a home game in the playoffs. The Ravens are going to win the fucking coin toss.
The Ravens are winning this game now. I love the Ravens in this game.
You like the points as well, Nolan?
I do like the points. I mean, but here's the thing: is Lamar Jackson playing?
No, he's out.
No, I don't know. If
Already
he plays again
announced
the rest of
out.
the year.
Hasn't practiced all week.
Hasn't practiced all
What
month.
happened?
I
I remember watching his injury and not thinking it was that bad.
It's something to do with his
I
contract
was
at
gonna
this
say it's gotta
point.
be a
Do you
contract
think
thing.
so?
Yeah.
Ooh, I like that. I like the little drama.
I'm not
You
even.
think he's intentionally sitting out?
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm not even playing conspiracy theorist Sal, but he is melting this injury, dude. Until he is 100% fully healthy, he does not care how the Ravens do. He does not care what the team is doing. When Lamar Jackson is healthy, he will be back on that field. 100%, no doubt about it.
I think that's a smart point.
that.
And I think that's a smart play by him. I do.
They haven't shown him the respect, so why is he going to return it to them?
I do think it's a smart play. I mean, if I was a Ravens fan, I'd be wanting to take his head off. But I mean,
Oh, yeah.
like that's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes.
The other thing.
Also-
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, Harbaugh and Roman, tick
Mm.
on your watches because time might be coming up soon if you don't get it right, especially with this situation.
And,
I'm not
like, here's the thing too. I don't even think the Ravens should give him the house. I don't think the Ravens should give him.
I
the house.
agree with
I don't
you.
think so either.
He hasn't shown it.
I agree with you.
He hasn't won a playoff game, which everyone says is his monkey on his back, right? So now he might
He's won one playoff game.
He's won one playoff game.
Correct you on that.
So now he's got a chance to do it again. Or if he even plays, I don't even fucking know. But it's just like, why would they pay him,
The
make
farm.
him the highest
Yeah.
paid? Because that's what he's going to want. He's
Yeah.
probably going to want to be the highest paid quarterback,
Well,
or at least close to it.
I don't know if this is the team that we talked about. I think it was like maybe last week or 2 weeks ago. This is the team we talked about. Who are they paying? They're paying Mark Andrews and who? Their left tackle? Their
Yeah, no,
center?
they
like,
don't pay
where's their
people.
money being floated to?
They're like the Patriots. They don't pay people.
But like their cap is like almost maxed out, so they're paying someone. Someone's getting money on that team. I don't get it.
I
Like,
mean, I do. That was just what I think that they should do. They're probably going to do the dumb thing.
I
and
don't think they
him-
give him the farm. I think if they were going to give him,
think so, though?
I think if they were going to give him the farm, it would have been last off season. Honestly,
What other options do they have?
draft the quarterback?
There's none this year. What about
They're
next
gonna have a
year?
late pick anyway.
Derek Carr.
If Derek Carr has a choice on where he goes to, though, he's not signing there. There's
But
no
if
wep-
Derek
there's no
Carr doesn't
weapons
have
there.
if Derek Carr doesn't have weapons, he's a literal burger.
That's what I mean. He would.
He doesn't.
If he's a free agent and he's under his own power to go where he pleases, that ain't
That's the
happening.
other thing too, and that's why I don't really blame Lamar Jackson for this. They don't have anybody to throw to.
Well, yeah, no, literally their offense is hand it to J.K. Dobbins or Gus Edwards or Lamar Jackson runs with the ball or it's Mark Andrews for a 5-yard pass. Those are the only options on that offense.
The only reason they've been successful is because of how talented Lamar Jackson is.
Their wide receivers are 36-year-old Deshaun Jackson and 36-year-old Sammy Watkins. Those are their two wide receivers.
Like 4'11"
Devin
Devin
Duvernay.
Duvernay. Like he's tiny, bro. And he's not even. It's not even like he has Tyreek Hill quickness or anything. Like he has nothing to like
Separate
make up for
him,
the fact
yeah.
that he's 4'11". Like it's just like, bro, they have nobody. They have Mark Andrews and Lamar Jackson. That is it.
Saying all that, we're all taking the Ravens.
I think they cover. I don't think they win. I don't think they win. I do think they cover.
All right, Houston at Indy. Houston's only a 2.5-point dog. This will be Sam Ellinger, Nick Foles'. Your boy Tavon did him dirty.
Apparently, he didn't know, but I mean, I don't know.
No, he did.
No, he knew.
Well, listen, if you watch the play, he clearly cannot see Nick Foles convulsing on the ground.
But then he goes to the
Hitting him.
sideline and goes
He's
like,
hitting him with his arm
Yeah.
as he's doing the snow
Well,
angel.
but then,
What
like-
does
I
that-
don't know.
what do you mean?
then like he goes to the
His eyes
side.
are up like this. He can't see Nick Foles going like that.
He knows he's on the ground though.
That's what happens when you.
And then he
sack
gets up and goes to the
someone.
sideline.
No, that thing is
I
don't
like
know.
that. Like
It's
But
not.
again, he probably didn't see him like convulsing on the ground.
It's not funny, but
it was
it's funny.
It was funny.
But
It was-
it's
I
funny.
thought it was really funny. It's not funny that
Now-
Nick Foles got hurt.
No.
It's just funny that was
Listen,
like a situation.
Here is something that's funny. In 2023, Nick Foles throwing a pick six to Landon Collins, Who sees that happening this year?
I saw that Landon Collins scored a touchdown. I was like,
so excited.
I was like, he still plays, and he still plays for the Giants. That was the second. Well, like he left to go to Washington, right? Yeah. I was like,
he got a bag by Washington because he was awesome with the Giants, and then he like didn't.
I was so confused because I was like, he was on the Giants, and then he wasn't on the Giants, and I was like, how is he still playing?
I know.
Like,
I saw him.
I had so many questions in my head when he got that.
He got signed back this year. I was like, yeah, I like it.
This game's awful.
Yeah, I don't know. Just give me Houston. Fuck it.
I don't know. Give me.
Oh, it's horrible. I'm gonna take Houston because I think they're gonna fuck up their chances at a number 1 pick because that's what they do.
I don't know. Yeah.
What?
No.
So they would have
no,
to, they would lose, and then what? Chicago would lose, and then Chicago would have the number 1 pick.
Yeah, but like Chicago beat them, so I don't know how that would work. I don't know. Just give me Indy. Indy's a better team than Houston is.
Yeah, I don't think there's any shot that Houston wins and they don't get the first pick, right?
I don't know. Oh, they have a tie.
Arizona.
They have a tie. No, they have a tie, so they have a better record than Chicago technically.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. So yeah, if Houston wins and Chicago loses, then Houston has the 2 pick and Chicago has the 1 pick. So Chicago is definitely losing. Houston might win that game.
Yeah, I'll take Houston to win that game.
I'm taking Indy. Anyways. No, I don't know.
Right after he goes, Houston might win. You literally just built like this case for Houston winning. And then you're like, yeah, I'll take the Colts.
Giants.
I love you so. Oh my god.
Giants plus 14 at the Eagles.
It's one of the hardest games to pick because Brian Daboll isn't saying
anything. As far as I saw today, they're not playing their starters, but like that's not like
this game doesn't matter.
Well, for Philly, it definitely does.
Daboll would deny he
does.
even knows who Tyrod Taylor and Daniel Jones is right now.
How do you take Philly minus 14? But that's what's making me say I have to take Philly minus 14.
Because this game matters a whole lot for Philly and not for the Giants. And Jalen Hurts is probably playing.
My thing is that are the
Jalen
Giants...
Hurts has to be playing, no? Sorry.
I don't think the Giants are experienced enough or good enough to be sitting their starters in this situation. I think
you have nothing to lose, though.
I know. I think they should start the game, but I don't think they should play the whole game.
But why? Why risk it?
What if Saquon gets hurt in the first quarter?
It's different than... That's a risk. I know.
Antonio, if you lose the game, nothing happens.
I get it.
So why not
But it was
just
the same thing.
rest them?
In 2007, they played their whole starters against the Pats in Week 17.
But that was 2007. That was a different time.
Dudes were still resting. That was still a topic in 2007, was resting your guys.
Not as much as it is now. Not as much as it is now. Definitely not. I think you'd be dumb not to. With Saquon's injury history, he is probably the most unlucky person when it comes to injuries. Right, he would for sure get injured.
I can see them throwing Jones out for some drives. Maybe you're probably right about the Saquon thing. To get him work, man. I don't know. This guy has never started a playoff game.
It's week 18 in the NFL. He's been playing for 4 months.
Okay, but the team's doing pretty good right now. They just got their asses fucking handed to them by the Eagles 5 weeks ago.
What is one touchdown drive going to do, though?
How do you feel going into the playoffs if you just got creamed by Philly once again?
Okay, so they put him in Philly. They put him in for 1 drive. He goes and scores a touchdown. They're like, "Yay, Daniel Jones, good job."
I'm not telling you it's the right thing to do.
And then they lose the game 34-7.
Listen, you can come at me and say why. I'm not telling you it's the right thing to do. I'm just telling you it's quite a possibility that it could happen.
But if
teams do that.
But if you're telling me the only reason why is to get him ready for the playoffs is ridiculous. He should be ready for the playoffs. This is week 18 of the NFL season.
Tell that to some coaches then. Go talk to half the coaches around the league because
they need rest more than anything at this point in the year.
I'm not going to argue that.
They need rest.
So who's ever going to take him?
I don't know because I don't know what the Giants are doing.
I'm taking Philly. This line tells you everything.
Well, you got to assume with the line that they're not playing their starters.
Jalen Hurts is playing. They want that number 1 seed. They are going to crush the Giants.
Everything in me is saying take the Giants, which makes me want to take Philly.
I'm taking Philly.
I feel like this line is way too many points, but I'll take Philly, and it's a bad pick. It's gross.
Both picks are bad.
Well, that's like the Eagles game last week. We said Saints plus 6 is a bad pick.
All right, just for the sake of having some difference on this couch, I'll take the Giants.
All right, good boy.
Having difference on this couch.
Rams.
You guys got to kiss.
It's quite spicy podcast.
You guys have to kiss.
That game's a 4:25 game. This game's also a 4:25 game. Rams at Seahawks.
And this happens before the Lions game. Mm-hmm. So if Seattle wins, then
a lot of pressure. Oh no, not
Seattle wins, then it means something for Detroit.
Rams are +6 at Seattle. Over unders 41.5. I think the Rams end this season on a bang, and the Rams possibly win this game.
I like that. I'm with you on the possibly win. Because I don't think Baker Mayfield and Sean McVay are both competitive animals, and they love this spot. They love the spoiler situation. They're gonna treat it like a big game.
Oh yeah, they're kind of like, I don't want to say a match made in heaven, because that's not the right way to put it, but they're like they're seeing eye to eye. They know what's going on right now.
McVay still raves about him.
Yeah.
Like on his show this week, he was blowing so much smoke up Baker's ass.
He has a raging hard on for Baker. It's kind of cringe though, because Baker's gonna be shit next year.
I'll give you mucho credit. Last week was a great call with the Chargers jam, because I was like really into the Rams, and you were like, no, you're wrong about this jam, and just the way you were talking about it, you were way too confident to be wrong.
I was probably. I think I was on the Rams.
I remember
also.
taking the Chargers, but I hardly remember.
No, you were like, this is one of these games where like the Chargers have no pressure on them.
Oh,
and they're just gonna play relaxed.
Like,
yeah, you were like very confident about it.
I remember now. Now here's the thing, 74%, which isn't wild, of the money is on the Rams spread, but I mean I'm still all over the points here.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Rams win this game. I think Seattle has to lose in this spot for the other things to happen. So that's just what's going to happen.
I like that, Nolan.
Pressure would be on for Green Bay a little bit if Seattle wins, though.
I think this is another spot where just Baker looks amazing for no reason.
Dallas at Washington. Dallas is a 7-point favorite. Over under is 40 points. I think you have to take Dallas in the spot. I think they're going to come out there and try to kill Sam Howell.
You know, they're fighting for the number 1 seed also.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's not enough points in this situation.
Do you want to talk about
the Eagles lose?
You want to talk about Washington last week, Nolan?
What?
The great decision to start Carson Wentz.
Dude, that I still don't understand it. To this day, I still don't understand
It's like
it.
Carson.
How did they not know? How did Ron Rivera not know?
He's like, wait, we can eliminate him?
Oh, that.
How did he not
That's
know?
fake.
He's like, fuck, I wouldn't have started fucking Carson then. Imagine that's what he said.
No, but you know when you're genuinely confused and you need someone to like repeat what they just said? Like that's literally what he was doing. Like it wasn't if he was joking, get him a job in Hollywood right now. Because I really don't think he knew. That was the most genuine reaction ever. Like he was like, he heard the question and then he like had to process what he heard and then he was like, I'm sure it was a case of like he's just focusing on this game. He doesn't really care about the scenario. But like because if we win, nothing happens. He has to know,
right? And that's
someone has to tell him.
That's obviously a conversation that happens within the organization throughout the week. There's no way between any of the meetings between Ron Rivera and the GM and anybody else that's in charge that wasn't brought up.
And I said this to him. I was like, there are 75 people that work on a staff of a football team. Not one person went up and said, "Hey, Ron, just so you know, if we lose this game, we could be eliminated from the playoffs."
Or like if Ron's doing his like locker room speech or whatever before the game, then one of his coordinators yells like says something like, "And this got to happen, or we're not making the playoffs." Ron was probably like, "Yeah,
what that guy said." He's like, "Yeah." I think that was like the worst, one of the worst mistakes I've seen all year from a coach.
But also with the Carson Wentz thing and his 3 interceptions and having another terrible game, it's like Carson's running this sick fucking joke that he has with himself. That he just goes in.
He's still a quarterback. That he
shits himself it's like some sick fetish that he has. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like his alter ego is a quarterback, but he just really is a farmer at heart. And he's
the team, he
fights with his inner demons when he's on the field.
It's just so dumb because the team responded to Heineke and not Wentz, despite
and they looked so flat. They looked so flat with Carson Wentz in there. They did not think anything of him. And like that goes up there with the Brandon Staley going for it on 4th down, like when they shouldn't have. And I called for him to be fired. Still am calling for him to be fired. That's like top 2 faded decisions of the year.
Robert Carson Wentz is a scarecrow. That's literally
dude. Carson Wentz is like one of the worst quarterbacks I've ever seen.
Genuinely, that's not even like hyperbole. Like he actually is.
I'm not even trying to like shit on him. I wish I was wrong.
His back died.
He had one good year.
He threw 3 picks.
And he threw 3 picks.
In his game back, he throws 3 picks. Are you serious?
Crazy. That's almost like I saw it. I'm like, this has to be fake.
Has he been practicing?
No, you would think after pick 1, the number one priority is just don't throw another one.
And then he threw another one.
But then, then you're like, I cannot throw a third. And then you throw a third one?
But then you don't even have a touchdown. Like normally if you look at a quarterback, they're like,
two touchdowns, 2
touchdowns, 1 interception. You're like, oh, okay, it must have been like a tip or something. Yo, if you go with 0 and 3 interceptions, you're looked at as
for less than 200 yards, right?
It's too
It was
perfect.
like 170 or
it's
something.
too perfect for a stat line for his first game back.
Yeah.
You would expect him to be shitty. Now, with
the
the Dallas
worst.
thing, in most situations, I feel like I'd take Washington this year because Dallas really plays down to their comp. But
No, this is not the spot.
Washington is dead right now. I don't see them playing well at all.
Dead in the water.
Speaking of a team that's dead, this might be one of my pick 3s. Arizona. Oh my God. Plus 14 at San Francisco. I pray for those Arizona Cardinals on Sunday.
I have 14 and a half.
I have 14 right now.
Yeah.
San Francisco just absolutely it's not even close in this game.
San Fran can get the number 1 seed.
I don't think
I don't think they will, but they could.
No. I don't think Arizona scores a point in this game. Genuinely. 31-0.
Well, right, especially because San Francisco's defense didn't play as good as they are last week against
Now they're pissed.
Vegas.
Now they're pissed.
This is a game where they have an opportunity to force Arizona to -7.
Here's the same game parlay for this game. J.J. Watt to record a sack in his last NFL game. Cardinals team total under, and San Francisco -14. That is a lock. What
about game
that is an
total?
absolute
What about game
lock.
total under? It's 39. You don't like it?
I don't need anything about J.J. Watt sack. Cardinals team total under. San Francisco spread. That's free money.
Love it.
That's free money.
Love it. Arizona has no reason to play. They have no reason to play. And they just came out and said that Kyler's not even going to be ready for the start of next year.
Oh, goodbye.
Like, what's going to happen to this fucking franchise? 49ers sit there good guys, and there's a garbage touchdown. No, the 49ers aren't going to sit there good guys, Robert.
Nah,
They could get the 1 seed.
the Cardinals. The Cardinals are dead.
Cardinals are dead.
You're taking San Fran too.
The Cardinals aren't starting
I'm all
starting
San
their
Fran.
guys because they don't have any.
They don't have any guys to start.
They don't have any to begin with.
This also might be my pick 3, and you're gonna laugh. Chargers at Denver. Denver's -3. Denver needs all the good juju they can get heading into next season. The Chargers don't care about this game. Denver needs a pick me up, and this is the pick me up, and they're gonna win this game.
Russell's going to look very good.
I don't like 3 though. They could win on a last second field goal, but I think Denver wins this game. I'm taking Denver.
This is also like what happened when they played last time. This is the second time they've played, isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
and I think the Chargers won by 3.
Oh my god, bro! Does Denver win by 3?
Probably right.
So this is a push.
I mean, a divisional matchup.
That'd be the most Denver thing.
Yeah.
For them to push this game. I mean, I'll take Denver just because it's 3.
I concur.
All right, we don't need to talk more about that. The moment, gentlemen, ladies, friends, family, you've all been waiting for. Detroit at Green Bay. Spread is 4.5 points. Packers are favored. Over-under's 49 points. Antonio's chomping at the bit. Let's let him go.
No. I was just going to say, I heard something really funny today. I was listening to the radio, and a Detroit fan calls into the show, and they were just talking about all the playoff scenarios and things like that. He's like, and man, even if Seattle wins earlier in the day and we can't make the playoffs, I just want to beat Green Bay. That's all I care about. I just want to knock Green Bay out of the playoffs. I thought that was hilarious.
I think the motivation is there whether or not they can make the playoffs. If Seattle loses, they can make the playoffs. If Seattle wins, then they can knock Green Bay out of the playoffs. So it's like either way they're playing for something.
Now, this is really tough for me because I'm leaning to the Detroit side. However, Jared Goff plays like shit in cold weather games.
That's the other thing I was thinking of.
It's really hard to ignore.
I mean, well, here's
But this is the biggest spot that the Lions have been in years.
Well,
yeah.
that's where I was gonna go. This is Jared Goff's most important game besides the Super Bowl. Like since the Super Bowl, this is his most important game I think he's played. I gotta think that just the way that
it's not like that guy has a reputation for
the
playing bad in big
Lions
games.
are fucking winning this game. Seattle is losing. Detroit is
making the playoffs. Wow, okay.
They are making the playoffs.
I think this is going to be an excellent game. This is the hype is going to build up, and it's going to.
I really
pay
hope
off.
it is.
I'm going to say Detroit +5. We'll let the winner see who it is.
I do think 5 is a lot for this game. I do.
I think this is a nip and tuck. I
It is.
definitely think this is an under type of game. I don't think this is these two teams going back and forth whatsoever. And that, honestly, probably at this point of the season favors the Packers. Like, I feel like the Packers have been trying to be like a more defensive, run-the-ball type of team.
Right, and their defenses looked like it should have in the beginning of the year, which is really scary for the NFC playoffs.
I like this
Detroit's defense is terrible.
I like this Detroit team. I think they have a lot of up-and-coming players. Green Bay, baby, -5. Let's go. Let's go. They're making the playoffs and they're making a little run. Let's go. We're back on the train. We have to get back on the train.
Well, here's the sad
Look
part
at
about this
seeding,
game.
'cause I wanna-
Whichever one of these teams make the playoffs, they're getting routed in the first.
I
game that
don't
they
know
play.
why can Green Bay. Why can
Green
Green
Bay's
Bay
not getting
Why
routed
can
in the
Green
first
Bay
round.
Here
not
you go
win a
again.
game?
Here you
Here
go
I go
again.
again. Dude, they've looked great. I'm not saying they're going to run in the Super Bowl, but since 4-8, the defense is
What
one
does
of the
make a
best
little
in the
run
NFL.
mean?
Hold on.
They're favoring their running game between their two really good running backs. The offensive line's playing good. And since, I don't like the whole blasting your receivers in public thing that was happening earlier in the season, but apparently it's worked out a little bit.
Antonio, what seed were the Green Bay Packers when they went to the Super
They were the
Bowl?
last seed. They won.
give a
They won all
fuck.
their
I don't
road
give a
games. They went
fuck,
10-6.
Sal. If there's one thing I don't give
The next year they
any
went
fucks
15-1
about, it's
lost to the
that
Giants.
Green Bay -5.
because it's gonna be the Bucks.
Now, wow! Imagine if the Eagles lose this weekend and then the Cowboys get the 2 seed.
Oh, the
and then it's
Packers
Green
can
Bay
the Packers can beat the
Cowboys.
Eagles. The Packers can beat the Eagles.
Oh, they most certainly
If the
can.
Eagles
they can beat
lose, that would be literally tragic.
The only
that would
game-
be tragic for them.
The only matchup I
Can
kind
the
of just
49ers get the 1 seed?
Is that what happens?
If
That's
the
what would
49ers
happen.
win and Eagles
Ooh.
lose, 49ers
the
get
Cowboys
1
would
seed.
need the 49ers and the Eagles both to lose if the Cowboys.
That's
were to be
not
the 1
happening.
seed.
That is not happening.
But Jerry
They didn't have
Jones
the
is
two.
playing. He
Yeah.
says we're playing everybody.
Yeah, I think they should.
Okay.
Jerry Jones, the coach.
Yeah, Jerry Jones, the
Yeah.
coach. It should be Mike McCarthy saying that, but whatever.
Now, listen, I think the Packers have a shot against any 2 seed possibility besides the 49ers. I don't like them going to play the 49ers.
I'm
Detroit.
yeah, Packers.
Detroit.
Packers.
They're gritty.
I would love to go first on pick 3 if you guys don't mind.
Also, wait, side note, before you do that, would this be like the first time that a team that had Hard Knocks before the year would make it to the playoffs? Because normally they do a shit team.
I definitely don't think so, but I can't think of like a recent team that's done that.
I'm trying to think. They did the Colts in the middle of the year last year, right? And then who did they?
I thought
did
they were
the
like
Cardinals
winning the
in the middle
Super
of the
Bowl.
year
When I
last
heard that,
year,
I thought they
right?
were going to like win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, with Carson Wentz, of course. Let's see, they did the Raiders a couple years ago. They didn't make the playoffs.
that
that
was
was the whole Antonio Brown thing. I don't know. I'd have to go look, but
All right.
I just thought of that as we were talking about it.
Pick 3. I don't have updated records. I did bad last week. I went one. I just 1-1.
Whatever. Next week we can go
Yeah.
over our final season stats. So
All right. San Fran -14. I think that game is just way too free. Like Arizona's not scoring more than 7 points in that game. Tennessee, man. Honestly,
okay.
I know it's gross. I know it's not what you expect me to say. I know I like the Jaguars. I just think Mike Vrabel thrives in this type of spot. This is just what he wants his back up against the wall, and he wants people not to believe in his team. He's going to give them the craziest pre-game speech you've ever heard in your life. I love the Titans Saturday night.
He's not a big speech guy.
Whatever he does or whatever he says or doesn't say, it
He's
works.
a big speech guy. You don't
No?
think so? I feel like he's more like
on the outside,
quiet
but you never
leader,
know
like,
once they're in the locker room. You have to give speeches in the locker room.
No, but I mean, like, I don't think he's like the final scene in the movie when they're sitting in the fucking
Al
locker room.
Pacino
He's
at
giving
halftime.
like
Yeah.
Al Pacino on any given Sunday. Like, I don't think he's like that.
This one's going to be the most surprising. I can't believe I'm saying this. I thought I was going to go New England. I can't trust New England. I just can't do it. I'm taking Denver. I think Denver really needs to finish the season on a high note. They can't. They have one of the teams that are not in playoff contention, they have the most to play for this week. They need to go into next season at least feeling decent about themselves. And Russell Wilson still has a lot to prove.
Wow.
I think they're
Should I give them one last hurrah?
I think you have to.
No, I'm not.
I like Denver, so
like they disband the team.
No,
after
no.
this year,
Listen,
you
you
can
just
never-
heard me talk about the Packers. That means that Denver's on the. I kicked that. And the Packers.
You just go from one to the other.
Yeah.
So I went
heroin to pills, back to heroin.
I went Denver, Denver, San Fran, and Tennessee are my 3 picks.
All right, you pick who goes next.
Nolan.
Okay. Number 1. These are all destiny picks, by the way.
So Bills.
Bills -7. Give me Jets +3. And give me Detroit +5 points. They are covering that game. They are winning that game. They are going to the playoffs.
I love it.
Those are my 3 destiny picks.
I love it.
I might be faded for the last week of the year for pick 3, but fuck it. I don't really care.
Go out with a bang.
I'm going out with a bang.
Oh, with the big game.
Antonio.
All right. I love Kansas City tomorrow.
They were close. They were borderline.
I definitely think they're going to cover that 9 in a high-scoring game. I also love San Francisco. It's really hard not to take them. They're just so bad. Arizona's so bad, and with me thinking about last week with how that defense played, and they get to play Arizona now, I mean, it's just going to be ugly. You guys are going to hate it because the game means nothing, but New Orleans is really just going to kick the Panthers in the teeth this week, and I'm taking the minus.
We got to give love to the games that don't matter.
Yeah.
Nah, not that damn. No, like literally not that damn.
I know we hate any Saints game this year. We don't like.
I hate the Saints.
I mean, that's just.
So
I
say
see
the
nothing
Saints for
positive
like
with
2
the
years
Panthers.
now.
Ugh.
So I got Niners minus.
Nah,
14.5.
I've hated the Saints for like 4 years now.
That's true.
Yeah, man. I don't.
Every year, like preseason, sounds like the
I'm like,
Saints are
they're the
terrible,
worst team ever.
Listen,
ever.
I used to follow them a lot when Drew Brees was on that team, and they were always like there as contenders.
Well, it
'Cause
started-
I always pulled for him. I wanted to see Brees back in a Super Bowl.
Yeah,
Because
it started like I think the year after the Minnesota Miracle, and you were like the
started to
Saints
go
are terrible. You're like the Saints are the worst team, and
Yeah.
then they got that shitty call in that playoff game. Like that was their last chance to like go to the Super Bowl.
yeah, because he
for
said
sure.
the last year they were good. Sal was like, I swear to God, they're gonna make the playoffs after the Minnesota Miracle. He was like, they're going like 7-9 or 8-8 or something.
Literally.
And then they should have made it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Poor
That was
Saints.
the year he should have played Brady, right?
Yeah.
It would have been Patriots Saints.
Oh,
Oh
the
yeah.
Rams game, yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's fucked. I still
got
can't believe we
fucked.
got robbed for that.
Aw.
All right. Any bold predictions? Well, here's something I wanted to talk about. So, let's talk about all the guys that are playing for bonuses.
I saw a couple of
Oh,
these.
Let me 75 catches on Sunday.
Yeah,
I think
that
it
was-
was-
that
Yeah,
was
no,
funny.
that one's faded. But
I don't know anything about this, so
let me see. Where's my bookmarks? Here we go. All right.
Bold prediction before you get into
Okay.
it.
Yep.
Deshaun Jackson catches a 75-yard touchdown for the Ravens Sunday.
75 yards.
75 yards.
All right.
It's like
Does he still have that in the tank, you think?
he's gonna be gassed by the end of that run.
He's going to be like on the side of the Hawks.
Oh yeah.
Mine is the Browns and Steelers tie. That's going to be
Oh
mine.
wow. Well, mine also has to do with the Browns and Steelers game. I think Kenny Pickett will throw 3. Is that like
3
Say
touchdowns?
four.
four
Say four.
touchdowns?
All right, there you
Definitely over 300 yards.
Okay.
300 yards is the one.
All right. Patrick Mahomes needs 430 yards to set the record. He faces the Raiders, number
That's
30
right.
secondary. He
And
averages
no Tyreek
323.
Hill. He might set the record.
He averages 323 yards versus Vegas since 2019. His over/under prop is 290. Carl Lawson needs 1 sack to earn a 600K bonus. He faces the Dolphins, number 31 O-line. Christian Kirk needs 2 catches for 500K bonus.
Ooh, he's done that.
Good for
And
him.
91 yards for another 500K.
I jinxed him really bad there. Sorry.
Kirk's player prop is set at 56
He
and
can
a
get a
half
mill this
yards.
weekend. Good for him.
Justin Fields, which I don't think
He's not playing.
So we'll skip that one. Gerald Everett, 5 catches to catch 250K. He hit 5+ catches in 50% of his games.
I don't like that without Herbert.
He faces Denver, who allows the 3rd most tight end catches.
He might get it, but like I wouldn't be putting money on that.
I'm guessing Justin Jefferson isn't playing, but if he is, this would be the reason why. He needs 194 yards to set the record.
He's not done that either.
Zay Jones needs 2 catches for 250K and 98 yards for 500K.
He could get both.
Yeah, look at these.
He takes
look
on
at these
Tennessee is a
Jacksonville
bottom.
Bowls,
Yeah, he could get
Good for
both.
those
They're
guys.
bottom 10 secondary. DeAndre Carter, who I think will probably get a lot of reps, needs 2 catches to earn 250K.
They'll give it to him. And Chase Daniel being like the backup, he probably
But
throws to him.
LAC has stated that they are aware of this incentive.
I was gonna say coaches are normally pretty good about stuff like that, and when guys need a couple catches or some yards or something, they
So
try.
I'm assuming his receiving yards is probably going to be pretty low. So, I mean, that might be a good bet. Zadarius Smith needs 1 sack to earn 750K.
He's getting that.
Tyler Higbee, this is an interesting one, needs 13 yards to hit a 500K bonus.
He's getting that.
He failed to hit this in 4 of the last 6 games.
Oh, so he's choking his money away? No, Tyler.
They have him projected for 41.5 yards this
It's
week.
so funny.
Yeah, he should get it.
Let's see.
Alternate under 12. Or alternate under 13.
So Jamal Williams, he definitely will get this. He needs 6 more rushing yards to hit 1,000, and this would cash a 250K bonus.
Yeah, he should get that. Especially against his old team.
Yeah.
He's scoring Sunday night.
All right. Let's see. Juju needs 2 more yards. He cashes a $1.5 million bonus.
Wow.
Good for him.
Only
What if he
two,
doesn't
only
get it?
2 more yards, and he doesn't get it. That'd be insane.
No, he gets like a 5-yard catch, then ends up with like negative.
Then catches a
8
screen
yards.
pass
Yeah.
for -4.
All right, let's see. Here's another one. Austin Eckler needs 14 catches to set the RB record.
Not happening.
Josh Jacobs needs 151 yards to set the Raider record.
Not happening.
CeeDee Lamb needs 10 catches to set the Dallas record.
Maybe.
Jamal Williams also needs 1 touchdown to tie Barry Sanders' team record. He said Williams is aware of this, stating, "I'm coming for you, Barry."
Oh.
I
So
don't like it.
he's getting a touchdown. Holy shit. Chris Olave needs 155 yards to set a team rookie record.
I could see that. That's out of all of them you said, that's the one that's like out there that I like the most.
Devontae Adams is 12 catches from the Raider record.
No, he doesn't care this week.
You'll like this one. AJ Brown is 9 yards from the Eagles record.
Really?
Not much to bet on here, but he's 99 yards from 1,500.
Wow.
He stated that this number is on his radar. His prop is 73.5 yards. Travis Kelce needs 12 catches to set the tight end record.
Could happen.
It's happened once this year that he's had 12 catches. Stephon Diggs needs 1 touchdown to tie the team record.
Yep, that's happening. He kills the Patriots every time they play.
Jahan Dotson needs 1 touchdown to set a team rookie record.
As long as it's not Carson Wentz, he has a chance.
Yeah, that's pretty much it for now. But those are pretty interesting. Those are always interesting to look at in the last week of the year to like bet
I don't
on
think I
player
heard
props.
The last 4.
What, have you just been clocked out?
Yeah, I zoned out.
You microdosed.
Yeah,
Microdosed.
sure.
All right, but I mean, other than that, anything else?
I'm so excited for.
What else we got?
Oh,
No, I don't think I have anything. I texted you guys Vancouver is the worst team in the league, and they've been on like a hot streak ever since I said that, so that's fun.
Oh, who won the? Is the juniors final? Have you been watching that?
Canada won.
Canada won, right? Okay.
Canada-
The U.S. got bronze, huh?
Yeah, Canada is the best team ever.
That fucking Connor, what's his face?
Connor Bedard,
He's so good.
he's insane. He set the record for most points in a tournament, above Jaromir Jagr
Oh wow.
and above Wayne Gretzky.
Oh.
They're literally calling him the next like Connor McDavid.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's what I was gonna say. And his name is Connor. Now he said he would only play for Vancouver, right?
I don't know if that's true,
I believe.
but I don't think he has much of a choice.
I know that, but
He could always decline like the pick. I mean, he could pull
Yeah.
an Eli Manning, but
well, that's what I mean. My dad said he was gonna pull an Eric Lindros. So
true. I think the only scenario is he goes to the Coyotes.
I wouldn't. I just wouldn't go there. Like
Well, here's
I
the
know
thing,
he said.
Here's the thing about the Coyotes, though. They would build. I mean, they're a terrible franchise, but they have this. They're building another rink in Tempe,
Why
Arizona.
Why would you stay in Arizona if you're them?
I think
Because
there's some reason
the thing is, because Gary Bettman is so obsessed with having hockey in the desert, he's really fucking obsessed with it, and thinks that it can work. So he just keeps trying it until like they lose money. I don't know. Fuck it. So yeah, they're gonna build this new stadium. It's gonna cost $1 quadrillion, and if they get Connor Bedard, that'd be an exciting piece to sell tickets. So I mean, that's probably who they would want to pick.
And if NHL's got enough teams south of the Mason-Dixon line, that team can go move somewhere else. I
think that would be the last shot. I mean,
I knew one of you would love that.
So old. So old.
Do you wake up and does it just say 1860 every morning? Like I swear to God, it does. Like he literally has like a tear off calendar. Like it's like.
Do you mark a calendar every morning?
No, I don't have a fucking calendar.
I could definitely see that from him.
Like, crosses it out with a little Sharpie.
Maybe once I move into my own like place, maybe I'll have a fucking calendar. I don't know.
That's so funny.
I don't care about
still
what
handwrite letters to people.
I actually prefer writing than typing.
Did you ride a horse here?
Have you ever used a typewriter?
No, well the carriage is outside. The horses, I let them take.
Have you ever used a typewriter?
I've typed on one without paper in it, just because I've
it's
done
like fun, yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. I'm just like,
I
want to touch that.
Yeah,
they're heavy as shit.
They are very heavy.
On that note,
do you use a sundial to tell the time?
No, actually,
Apple Watch.
No,
I think that counts. That counts.
Yeah, dude. Oh, it's a solar graph. I think it's cool.
Yeah, that counts.
I like space.
Oh, cool.
That counts.
That's actually really cool.
Yeah.
All right. Over and out, gentlemen.
Goodbye.
Connor, not to the Coyotes.